will be decided by the results of this one. Let's have a look at the grid for Minimax Race 1 here on Sunday. Mika Trapp, the 118, starts on pole position, and alongside him will be the 145 of Simon Mayer. Matthias Schulter in the 150 will be joined on row number 2 by the 153 of Devin Leon Ukar. The 114 of Kenyon Washington will have the 121 of David Schurush alongside on the third row. Fourth row, it's Alexander Klugel in the 180 and the 104 of Roman Hummel. And bringing up the rear in 9th position will be the 191 of FM Racing's Nein Breytag. So as with the Micromax drivers in their first race, this will be 9 minutes plus an additional lap. We now go on to the formation lap. So it will be down to Mika Trapp and Simon Mayer to get into their front row position and control the grid. So not so much sunshine as there was yesterday. Air temperature is approximately 18 to 19 degrees centigrade. Highs of 21 today, lows of 13 degrees Celsius. Humidity 73%. Wind is about 6 kilometers an hour. And yeah, we've had pretty much daytime since 5 o'clock local time this morning. But it is Mika Trapp from Simon Mayer on the front row. They've just got a couple more corners to negotiate before we go into the tram lines once again. So Mika Trapp looks to continue the success run here in Mülsen. And very much the case that coming into this round, Alexander Klugel thought he had a bit of an advantage. Well, that advantage, I think, has been truncated, as now they come out of the final corner. Into the tram lines we go. The revs start to build. We have gone lights out. They are off and racing, and a good start from quite a few of the drivers, including, Kenyon Washington banzais up the inside of Matthias Schulter to take second. But then all of a sudden, from 7th on the grid, Alexander Klugel has jumped his way up into 2nd position. That was a great start from the 180. So now the battle really heats up. Kenyon Washington now in 3rd place ahead of Matthias Schulter after that rambunctious move through turn number 2 on the very first lap. But it looks like Trapp and Klugel are starting to break away from those behind. So out of the final corner comes Mika Trapp, who continues to lead the way after the first lap of asking, but Alexander Klugel is rather close and personal. Up behind the back bumper. As now Klugel was just waiting to see what has happened here. Now, Mika Trapp's transponder has had an issue, but he's still leading at the moment. So at the minute, Mika Trapp is leading the way. Alexander Klugel still in 2nd, but right up the back bumper into the penultimate chicane complex here on the circuit before this tight right-hander that comes back onto itself like a hairpin. Then into the next chicane, which is a right and then a left, before they head up towards the left-hand kink that brings them into the double right-hander to complete the circuit. So on to lap 2 we will go. And Mika Trapp still leading ahead of Alexander Klugel. Klugel looking for the lead. Up the inside he goes. Through turn 2, the 180 makes the job a completed one. Going through the turn 2 hairpin. Mika Trapp still with him right now. Kenyon Washington in second, but Trapp goes back for the lead up through the inside of turn 4 and neatly cuts across the front of Alexander Klugel. But Klugel looking into the next chicane is going to get alongside the number 118 as the timing issue has now been resolved. So I'm not too sure if it was being picked up, but Mika Trapp was just over 1 1/4 tenths of a second ahead after that previous lap. So just over 6 minutes remain on the clock, completing lap number 3. Mika Trapp was just over a tenth ahead of Alexander Klugel as they go on to lap number 4. So the 118 led from pole position. Klugel stormed his way to the front of the field from 7th on the grid. And it looks like Kenyon Washington, yep, he's up into P3. The biggest thing here is that Matthias Schulte has had some dramas in the meantime and has dropped down into what is now 7th position, having got past Devin Leon Ukar. So I'm wondering if the two might have had a slight coming together. Just under 5.5 minutes remain on the clock, and Mika Trapp still doing what is required, staying out in front. The gap was just over a tenth of a second last time. What's the gap between Trapp and Klugel? 0.3. So it's been increased, and Mika Trapp just sets the fastest lap of anybody, 56.137 on that previous tour. We're on to lap number 5 of the race, and Mika Trapp doing the business as is required, as that is the 121 of David Girouche that's gone into battle with Matthias Schulte, and just behind them is Devin Leon Ukar. I think just up ahead that should be, and now I'm wondering, is that 9 Breitag who's got his way up a little bit further up the order? Looks to be the case. Well, we're going to find out very shortly, because Simon Meyer has got past Kenyon Washington. That is 9 Breitag in the 191, who had a day to forget yesterday. Retirements in both races, putting the youngster at the back of the field. Here are the leaders once again. Mika Trapp and Alexander Klugel still leading the way, and Klugel has got the gap down to just over 0.18 of a second. And in the process has set the fastest lap of anybody, 55.9 flat, around this 1,315-metre circuit. And Klugel is looking every way he can to see if he can get past either on one side or the other side of Mika Trapp. But at the moment, as things stand, that is not going to happen. So all drivers still circulating, and things are getting a little bit tighter at the back of the second half of the field, starting from Kenyon Washington, because 9 Breitag has been passed by Matthias Schulte. And it's still nip and tuck between the two at the front of the order. Alexander Klugel was 71 thousandths off of Mika Trapp in terms of crossing the timing beam on the completion of lap number 6. These two will be fighting right up until the checkered flag. We've got just over 3 minutes to go, but here is a bit of a squabble and then some. Washington leads the squabble, and that is from 4th to 8th. So behind Kenyon Washington, you've got Matthias Schulte, 9 Breitag. David Girouche looked up the inside. They're going into the right-hander. But Breitag able to capitalise and stay ahead. Devin Leon Ukar rounds out the top 8. Now the leaders. Mika Trapp still leading from Alexander Klugel, and Mika Trapp now puts in the fastest lap of the race, 55.635. But personal bests are being set by Klugel, Meyer, Washington, and now look at this gaggle here. Schultz has gone toe-to-toe with Washington, and that's over P4. Simon Meyer's gotten away into the distance and is leaving them all in his wake. David Jurush has got past Nine Bretag, and Bretag looks up the inside, retakes the position. That's a good swap for 6th place between them. But the stalemate continuing at the front of the field. Trapp versus Klugel all over again as they come across the line. So we'll have this, plus 2 more additional laps to on to lap number 9 as Klugel goes for the lead and gets it done through turn 2 once again. But now Mika Trapp looking to get back past 2 corners later. He gets the job done. So some good racing respect by these two. Alexander Klugel again looking to find a way past Mika Trapp, but it's not proving to be easy. But he could get the run going through into turn 2 if he's close enough. He was 65 thousandths behind Mika Trapp last time when they crossed the stripe, and now going through into the final double right here at this circuit, it's anyone's guess. So we're about to complete lap number 9. Mika Trapp still leads. So next time around we'll get the final lap board. Now on to lap number 10 out of 11. And this time Alexander Klugel decides not to go for the move. I think could be waiting until the final lap and be right up close and personal with Mika Trapp to try and see if he can get past to retake the lead onto the final lap of this race. And I have seen it happen before, but Alexander Klugel is fast running out of time. And Mika Trapp will know this because they will have kept an eye on the clock, on the digi flag, to see how much time they've got left. But Alexander Klugel needs to act now to try and get past Mika Trapp. Out of the final corner on the circuit they come. Last lap board is being shown, and Alexander Klugel looking towards the outside of Mika Trapp, and again looks towards the outside going through into turn 2. Will he take a tighter line? Well, a little bit, but not much, and it wasn't enough for him to have the door open. But towards turn 4 for the final time, Alexander Klugel is doing everything in his power to get past Mika Trapp. He might have a run coming out of the final corner, but he's just got to stay on the back bumper of the 118. It's going to be close between these two, and they're both wrestling with the steering wheels, both trying to rotate the karts in and get the power down as early as possible, allowing the rear Mojo tyres to bite down to the tarmac. But Mika Trapp might have done enough. But we are on the final lap, and anything can happen, especially with the long straightaway here at Mülsen. Out of the final corner they come. Klugel's going to punch it, but Mika Trapp's going to keep his head down, and Mika Trapp wins the first race of the day by just under 0.2 of a second ahead of Alexander Klugel. That was a great battle between the pair. Really well-deserved racing for the pair of them. Simon Meyer takes 3rd position ahead of Matthias Schulte, who pipped Kenyon Washington to 4th by 0.02 of a second. David Jurush rounds out the top 6. A good little recovery from Nine Bretag, who could have been in the top 4, but ended up finishing in 7th ahead of Devin Leon Ukar, with Ramona Hummel in 9th at the end of the race. But Mika Trapp holds on and keeps his nerve ahead of Alexander Klugel, with the pair finishing 1 and 2 respectively here in Mülsen.